On today's show, we visit the new South Shore Veterans Center and talk about upcoming things to do in our area. We're glad you're here. Let's get started. A comprehensive center for veteran services serving the South Shore area is now open in Plymouth. We went on the local scene to 20 North Park Avenue.
My name is Charles Gagnon. I'm the president and CEO of Volunteers America, Massachusetts. We go by VOA Mass. We're a statewide nonprofit that helps people in need, in particular the veterans. We were approached by Secretary Santiago of the Executive Office of Veterans Service to consider setting up a regional resource center for veterans. And it's been in discussion for about 16 months, and we've been able to identify an ideal place. And what his vision and our vision was to create the Plymouth Area Veterans Center that allows an area with no barriers for veterans. Anyone can walk in, a place to network, a place for fellowship, a place to relax, a place to access behavioral health services, employment, housing, healthcare. And if we can't provide those services, we have connections throughout the entire region, including all the way down the Cape and the islands. So this was considered a veterans desert for services. And you mentioned there's over 7,000 veterans throughout just this region alone, and there's a limited amount of resources for veterans, period. And he wanted to make sure that we put a flag in the ground saying, one, you're welcome to come here. We can connect you to all these services, and we want to start building kind of community care infrastructure for our veterans. I think it's important to Plymouth because they have a large veterans population, and they wanted to demonstrate to the veterans community and to the people of Plymouth that veterans matter. We deserve to give back to them, and then we deserve to have something local. It's so easy. They can take the bus, ride their bike, drive down here, and get the help they need. And we're also going to help their family. So a veteran may have a son or daughter struggling. We can help that. They're looking for housing. We can help them. If they're facing eviction, we can make sure we intervene with the landlord and pay arrearages. Or they're being evicted and we may move them into a hotel for 2 weeks before they find permanent housing. So we have a variety of resources, and we have a lot of tools in our veterans services kind of toolbox to help people from employment, housing. If your car broke down, you don't have a proper ID, we can get those things to the vets so they can begin their journey on chasing their dreams. The next is for us to get out and promote and connect with all leaders. We're going to meet with every veterans officer in every town and city, all the way down to Provincetown and the islands. We're going to start working more closely with nonprofits where I know Secretary Santiago mentioned BAMSI. Peter's an amazing leader. They have resources we don't. So we really want to create this collaborative network of resources, whether it's legal assistance, housing assistance, employment, behavioral health, or other. If we can't do it, we'll find a partner that can. The town of Plymouth has really created a special feeling, and the fact is that they had all the town departments, Sheriff McDonald, that we're in a position to be very successful. And the day of the Lone Ranger model is dead. If you don't have collaborative and coalitions that work together on a strategic goal and vision, like helping veterans, ending veterans and the homeless, you're not going to be successful. And I feel we have the right special sauce for success.
Celebrate the ghostly season with some spine-tingling tales from places close to home. Heritage Film presents Ghost Stories at the Kingston Council on Aging on Wednesday, October 30th at 1 p.m. The films will feature tales of supernatural scenes and haunted happenings in Salem, Concord, Deerfield, and Nantucket. This event is free. Visit the Senior Center's website or call 781-585-0511 to register. Next up on Community Conversations, Town Clerk Kelly McElreath and Elections Coordinator Tyler Hazard talk about voting.
Hi, my name is Kelly McElreath and I'm the Town Clerk, and this is...
My name is Tyler Hazard. I'm the election coordinator for the town.
And I'd like to thank Local Scene for having us here to talk about the election on November 5th, because it's been getting a lot of publicity locally and nationally. Yeah. So we're here to talk about it a little bit. Ty, can you talk about registering to vote and what the voters in Plymouth should be thinking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the most important thing to note for voters is that you have to be registered in order to vote in the upcoming election. And you need to be registered by October 26th.
And that is a Saturday?
That's a Saturday.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. So there are multiple ways to register to vote here in Plymouth. The easiest way is probably just to come into our office at 26 Court Street, the town clerk's office. We're on the first floor. You can come right in, let us know you need to register to vote, and we'll give you the form you need to do so and get you in and out of there really quickly. The other thing, which is also really convenient, is to register to vote online. In order to do that, though, you have to have a Massachusetts driver's license.
With an updated address, correct?
Yes, it has to be, the address has to match where you are currently living. And if you have that, then you can go online to www.voteinma.com. That's going to bring you to the Secretary of the Commonwealth's website, and you're going to see a whole host of options available for you. Look for the one that says online voter registration, type in your info, that comes to us and we'll get you registered. Either of those two options don't work for you, you can give us a call and we can mail you a voter registration form so that you can fill it out, mail it back to us, and we'll get you on the voter roll.
Okay, but that has to be received by Saturday, October 26th in order to vote. And I do know that we have a lot of people in Plymouth, because it's such a growing community, we have a lot of people moving from other communities or other parts of the country. So we highly encourage anyone to use that same website, voteinma.com, to verify that we have you registered to vote here in Plymouth before October 26th.
Absolutely. And if you try that and you can't find yourself for some reason, don't be shy. Feel free to give us a call. We're always happy to take a question on the phone and make sure that we have you on the voter rolls.
Sounds like a plan.
And I will say that voters in Plymouth are already very engaged and excited about the upcoming election. We have had more than 17,000 vote-by-mail ballot requests that have come into our office. So I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about vote by mail.
Yeah, so vote by mail really became prominent in 2022. They took everything that we did in 2020 due to the COVID precautions, and vote by mail became really popular with the voters here in Plymouth. And everyone, because this is a presidential year, many of the voters got postcards in March, and many of them put vote every election this year. So if you checked on that, or if you checked that box, if you were getting ballots throughout the year for the March, the local election, the September primary, know that your ballot is coming. I'd like to give kudos to the staff. We received 17,000 requests. In 10 days, we had those ballots prepared and mailed out. So now it's in the hands of the post office, and hopefully anyone that has requested those vote-by-mail ballots will get them very shortly. Once you get them, then it's important that you vote them right away and get them back to us as soon as possible. Yeah. There's a couple different options. You can definitely vote it. There's a postage-paid envelope in with your ballot. You can just make sure you sign the brown envelope, and that has your name already pre-printed on it, and then just place that in the white envelope, and it gets no postage required, and it gets mailed right back to the office. If you're going to do that as soon as possible. We also have the ballot box that's located at 26 Court Street in what we consider to be the back of the building, where the parking lot is located. You can also go and drop it off there. Or if worse comes to worse, you're walking into Town Hall, you can just drop it off in our office as well. Come say hi, and we'll take it and process it. So the deadline to apply for a vote-by-mail ballot is October 28th, which I believe is a Tuesday. Maybe it's Monday. Monday, October 28th. Yes, it's Monday, October 28th. Sorry about that. So we have to receive your request by 5 p.m. And the major reason for that is we need time to get that ballot prepared and mailed out to you, so you have the opportunity to vote it and mail it back to us.
And Kelly, what happens if somebody thinks they requested a ballot, they haven't gotten it yet? Is there a place that they can go to track?
Yeah, so the Secretary of the Commonwealth actually has a great online portal that you can use called Track My Ballot, and there's links to it at that voteinma.com. So you can click on it, put your name, put your address, put Plymouth and the zip code, and it will come up and give you exactly what's happening with your ballot, that it's been mailed or it's been received. And I would highly recommend anybody that mails their ballot is to go back and track that in about a week's later to make sure that we've received it in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that website's updated just about hourly, I believe.
Yeah, we discovered that today, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, so it's really up to date. So, it's a great resource for any voter out there who wants to make sure that their ballot by mail has been received by our office. And then, just like with other things, if you try to use that tool and it's not working for you, feel free to give us a call, and we're always, willing to let you know what's going on with your ballot because we have that info as
Yeah,
well.
and we're going to be in the office a lot in the next beginning, especially beginning on Saturday, October 19th, because we have in-person early voting. So, Ty, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in-person early voting is a wonderful option for anyone that wants to vote in person, but maybe they can't make it on Tuesday the 5th, or they want to avoid long lines, whatever reason they might have. We have 2 full weeks of early in-person voting available in Town Hall on the first floor in that glass lobby that you walk through in order to get to our office.
Correct.
And you do not need to apply for it.
Nope.
It's no excuse, come on in, vote then and there, and you can avoid lines on election day. So it's really wonderful. And so that's going to be available for town hall business hours on Monday through Friday. And that information, town hall business hours, are available on our website.
Yep.
So if somebody knows they want to come in on that first Tuesday, they can look it up and find out what our hours are. I will say for the weekends, we're also going to be open. We're not normally open on the weekends, so those hours are 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And we're open both Saturday and Sunday.
Both Saturday and Sunday, that first weekend and the second weekend. So
And the
the
second
19th
weekend.
and 20th, and then it's the
We should have looked up these dates. The 26th and
There
27th
it
is
is,
Saturday
yeah.
and Sunday.
yeah, exactly.
So anybody can just walk in and vote. So as Tyler was saying, we love to pick up the phone and answer anyone's questions. So we will be there pretty much the next 14 days. So feel free to give us a call.
Even on Halloween. We'll be
Even
there
on Halloween,
Come
yeah.
on in.
As a matter of fact, everybody likes to get their sticker when they vote. We got special stickers for anybody that decides to vote in person on Halloween. So that will be a lot of fun that day.
Yeah, maybe that's a good day for people to come in, have something a little different.
Exactly. So I just want to remind everyone that actually ends on Friday, November 1st, and on Friday the business hours are 12 o'clock. So at 12 o'clock, in-person early voting stops. And then the next opportunity for everyone to vote would be Election Day.
Election Day, which is a very exciting day for all of us.
Yes.
So polls will be open on Election Day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And voters will go to their assigned polling location. It's not Town Hall unless that's where you're assigned.
Yep.
But if you don't know where you are supposed to vote, go to that same website that we keep on talking about, voteinma.com. There will be an option to look up your polling location on that website, and that's where you need to go on Election Day.
Yep.
And if you end up in the wrong place, we'll let you know and we'll send you to the right place. So no worries if you get a little mixed up one way or another.
Yeah, and just so the voters, not many, especially if you're new to the town of Plymouth or haven't experienced a presidential election, Plymouth has close to over 50,000 registered voters. We have 18 precincts that vote in 14 different locations. So definitely use that website if you're unsure where you vote, because there are certain locations that people go on Election Day.
Yeah, and it might have changed since the last time you voted.
Exactly,
So
because they
it's-
did get updated in 2021. That's a really good point.
So
Really good point.
we strongly recommend everyone ahead of Election Day goes to that website, looks up their polling place so that they go to the right place. But if you don't, we'll get you there one way or another.
Yep. And when people do go to vote, Massachusetts put out the information for voters. It's known as the Red Book. This information talks a little bit about registering to vote, everything that we've just talked about, but it also gives you a detail on all the questions. There were 5 questions on the ballot this year. So if you're not sure, like don't even remember which question is what, definitely look for the voter guide, the Red Book in your mail. I think I got mine a couple weeks ago, so you should have it. If not, we have more in the office that you can pick up, and we'll have some at each of the polling locations for people to look at. So definitely do that.
Absolutely. And, want to stress that polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you're in line at 8 p.m. At your polling place and you haven't voted yet, stay in line. We will get you the opportunity to vote.
Exactly. Anybody in line at 8 p.m. will be allowed to vote. So lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about, we've been talking about 17,000 requests for ballots, and we're getting about 100 every day. So we could be definitely up over close to 20,000 by Election Day. So with the 2022 Votes Act, it allows us to process many of those ballots that we receive early in order to get ahead of the ballots that are being counted on Election Day. So I just want to let the voters here in Plymouth know that anybody that voted by mail and we received their ballot, we're going to start processing those ballots, and that includes opening the envelope, securing them, and then putting them through a high-speed scanner so they can be counted. We don't do anything with those results until 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 5th. That's when they get pulled. And those results get added to all the results on Election Day. That process, we're probably going to be starting that on Sunday, October 27th, and that will probably, it could go all the way until November 4th. We're going to advertise that we're doing it each and every day, but we're not sure. It really depends on the volume of ballots that we have and what we can handle. And that's open to the public. So if anybody has any questions on that process, feel free to come in. We're going to be doing it in the courtroom at the Plymouth Town Hall, and we'd love to have you come and show you exactly how democracy works and how we count the ballots and move forward.
Absolutely.
And that helps us get our results, the unofficial results, the evening of the 5th.
Yeah.
So we hope that answered a lot of questions that you have for us for voting here in Plymouth. And Tyler and I are available by phone or by email. Just reach out to us through the website. Thank you, the voters of Plymouth. We look forward to seeing you on the 5th or before. Thanks.
Thank you.
Every first Friday of the month at the Blake Planetarium is a star-studded live planetarium showcase of the twinkling night sky above your head. On November 1st at 7 p.m., join host Steve Davies to identify visible planets, bright stars, and constellations in the current evening sky. Learn how to read a star map and get your own copy to take home for night sky exploring on your own. This is an all-ages event. Bring your family, friends, or special date and make a night of it. Tickets are available for sale online, and a physical copy is not needed for admittance. Upon purchase, your name is added to the list of attendees, and you can check in at the door with just your name and your star-worthy smile. Parking is free. Next is poet Anne Phelan in a reading of her original work.
Next, I would like to bring up Anne Phelan, who is the CEO of the Plymouth Public Library Foundation. She and I go back many years, and we had a lot of fun putting on wonderful programs just like this. Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you. And I want to echo what Jennifer just said. I think this is truly magical at this combination of Anya and the harp and the poetry. It's like something I've never experienced. So I'm delighted to be here doing this. I have the pleasure of reading Song of the Wandering Aengus by Yeats, and this was first published in 1899, and the poem tells the story of Aengus, the Irish god of love, who falls in love with a banshee in a dream. He then spends his life searching for her. And I'm going to turn it over to Anya now.
So what makes Yeats's poetry so rich in many ways is the way he alludes to so many aspects of Irish mythology and folklore. So he talks about going out in the, he talks about the hazelwood. I went out in the hazelwood because a fire was in my head, which I love. But the hazel was, you know, when people would go out divining for water, they'd use a hazel wand, and hazel is sort of the wood of divination. And then he mentions the apples, the silver apples, and the apples in mythology. The apple was always, and the apple tree was always the gateway to divination and to the other world. And O'Carolan, who's a composer I'll follow up with, one of his first songs, he falls asleep under an apple tree and finds himself in the other world. And you'll notice that a lot of these stories of mythology, the gateway to the other world is always the apple tree. And you'll hear him mention the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. And the moon always refers to the feminine, you know, the feminine aspect. The sun is always the linear male. So all of Yeats's poetry is just layered up with layers and layers of Celtic mythology. So if you really want to understand his poetry, you have to read some of the mythology and the folklore. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Song of the Wandering Aengus. I went out to the hazelwood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran, faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun.
Firehouse Food Pantry is holding their 8th annual vendor and craft fair on Saturday, November 9th. Visit the Pembroke Community Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., where you can indulge in shopping for wares from local artisans, crafters, and businesses, enjoy tasty treats, and shoot your shot at winning something in the raffle. The Pembroke Firehouse Pantry, in partnership with the Greater Boston Food Bank, provides fresh, nutritious meals to community members in the Pembroke and surrounding areas. Why not get a head start on holiday shopping while helping fellow community members who are facing food insecurity? It's a win-win. The Pembroke Community Center is at 128 Center Street. The Plymouth Center for Active Living invites seniors to a spooktacular Halloween afternoon celebration. Carve out some time for a fabulous fall feast of pumpkin bisque soup, a harvest turkey wrap served with house-made chips, devilish apple spice cake, and delicious seasonal mocktails. DJ John Peters will be creeping it real, spinning tunes starting at 12:30 to transition into the free Halloween party from 1 to 3 p.m. There will be dancing, sweet treats, surprises, fun games, and prizes, including one for the most irresistible costume. The fun starts at 11:30 and costs only $9.99 per person. Through the magic of virtual reality, experience the journey aboard the Mayflower during her voyage of 1620, without the risk of scurvy, storms, or falling overboard. The virtual reality Mayflower presentation and experience was developed by Professor Bob Stone of the University of Birmingham and his team to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the ship's arrival here. Plymouth Patuxent Museum invites you to visit on Wednesday, October 30th from 2 to 3 p.m., when your VR experience will include educational components mediated by avatars of the historical passengers. Before putting on your virtual reality headset to explore the Mayflower, Professor Stone and some of his team will give a short presentation about the project itself. This special event is included with admission to the museum, which is located at 137 Warren Avenue. Ralph Waldo Emerson observed, "If the stars should appear but one night every 1,000 years, how man would marvel and stare." On Saturday, November 2nd, Soul Homestead invites you to marvel and stare from 7 to 9 p.m. on a stargazing night walk at the farm. Jamie Kern, Bridgewater State University's observation manager, will guide stargazers through trails and down to the back fields to discuss and experience the heavenly bodies visible from the homestead. After the walk, you'll get to look through telescopes in the fields behind the classroom. With weather allowing, there will be a bonfire and s'more kits available for purchase. Bring your flashlight and bug spray with appropriate shoes on your feet to experience this wondrous adventure. The cost for members is $10 for adults, $5 for children. Non-members pay $15 and $10. Soul Homestead is at 46 Soul Street in Middleborough. Learn more at soulhomestead.com. Bounce back from a vigorous game of pickleball or an extra motivated workout with a class focused on injury prevention, strength, and conditioning. On Wednesdays from October 9th through the 30th, the Duxbury Recreation Department is offering Core Conditioning and Back Care, a class that utilizes therapeutic movements, exercises, and stretches designed to build core and back strength, hip mobility, and lower leg flexibility. The class is good for all ages and intended for people who are comfortable with stretching and exercising from the floor on an exercise mat. Activities include passive and active stretching sequences, in addition to low-impact isometric and body weight resistance exercises. Class starts in the Tarkland Community Center at 12:30, right after Open Play Pickleball, and is an hour long. The League of Women Voters is next with some news.
Hello, it's Emily here from the League of Women Voters of the Plymouth area, and we're hosting a candidates forum on Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m. This forum is available in person at Plymouth Town Hall and will be streamed live. Our mission is to empower people to make informed decisions when voting. This forum is your chance to hear from the candidates for state and county seats and learn more about where they stand on important issues. Support the issues and candidates that matter to you when you vote on Tuesday, November 5th. For full details about the upcoming election, check out the Town of Plymouth website and the League of Women Voters website for additional resources. This forum is a great way to educate yourself on state and county candidates for the next election on Tuesday, November 5th. We hope to see you on Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m. for the Candidates Forum.
On Saturday, November 2nd, the Plymouth Philharmonic Orchestra presents Legends and Legacies, conducted by Stephen Kurdianis and featuring the Overture to Don Giovanni by Mozart, a symphonic synopsis of an incredible opera replete with scandal, murder, and revenge. Also performed will be Louise Farrenc's Symphony No. 2, a bold and brilliant symphony rich in romantic musical dialect. The evening centerpiece will be Joaquin Rodrigo's Fantasia para un gentilhombre, Fantasy for a Nobleman, featuring guitar soloist Elliot Fisk, a student of Andres Segovia, for whom Rodrigo wrote the concerto. This performance at Plymouth North High School begins at 7:30 p.m., and all ticket holders are invited to attend a pre-concert talk with conductor Stephen Kurdianis at 6:30 for no added cost. After the concert, there will be a dessert reception at the adjacent Performing Arts Center offering wine, dessert, and coffee at a cost of only $25. Plymouth North High School Performing Arts Center is located at 41 Obery Street. Tiff is on set with some more news you can use.
Is your kid a blockhead, meaning do they love building with Legos? Then let them Lego at the Kingston Rex Kids Lego Club meeting every Thursday through November 14th from 3:10 to 4:15 at the Kingston Intermediate School. Instructed by Mrs. Sontag, there will be a new fun design challenge every week to inspire creativity and promote persistence and problem solving. Students can work together in teams or as individuals. On the last day of Lego Club, every kid will be able to bring home a small creation. Lego Club is intended for kids grades 3 to 5. Please visit the Kingston Parks and Recreation Department website to sign up. When registering for Lego Club, please be aware that you are giving Kingston Intermediate School permission for your child to be released at dismissal time to the instructor for the program. Plymouth Pride is partnering with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth for a team build day in honor of their good friend Faye Barboni. On Saturday, November 16th from 8 to 3 p.m., you can volunteer to help build a home for a single mother and her young child. If you're unsure about your construction skills but eager to participate, fear not. No experience is needed, and there will be a mentor and contractor on site for Habitat for Humanity to provide the instructions. And Plymouth Pride has got you covered for lunch. Pizza will be provided. Teens age 14 and up are welcome to take part with a signed waiver the day of, and parents remaining on site. The required sign-up can be done through a QR code or Sign Up Genius link to the Plymouth Pride Facebook event created for this gathering. The actual build site in Plymouth and information about potentially splitting the day into morning and afternoon shifts will be announced closer to the event.
And that, my friends, wraps this episode of What's Good and Good to Know in our area. Thank you for watching.
And we want to thank our patrons, Tiny & Sons, Quintal Brothers, and Squinty's Pizza for supporting our mission of community in action through media.
We'll see you on the local scene. For more of what's good and good to know on the South Shore of Massachusetts, hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching.